Just starting.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of United Schools Organization of India, I'm Jolie Reggie Astant. A very warm welcome to all of you to our first session in the enlightening webinar series titled Beyond Boundaries, Understanding Special Needs. It is an honor to have each of you here, whether you are joining us as educators, parents, students. Your presence reflects a shared commitment to creating a more inclusive world. This session marks the beginning of a journey, one that goes beyond academic understanding and steps into the realm of human connection and shared responsibility. In this presentation, we will explore what it means to have special needs, how we define inclusion, and most importantly, how we as individuals and institutions can respond with awareness and compassion. This webinar is being recorded and streamed live on USO YouTube channel. Let me tell you about USO. United Schools Organization of India is a registered society established in 1951. It is our mandate to advance the social, cultural, and moral standards of schools in India to global levels by providing schools access to extracurricular tests, seminars, conferences, competitions, campaigns, and programs on a national platform. We aim to create global citizens by providing students and teachers alike avenues to explore their potential beyond academics. Our impact is we take immense pride in our rich legacy and the meaningful impact we have created over the past 75 years, empowering generations of students and educators, fostering inclusive education, and championing holistic development across the nation. Let's take a moment to reflect on legacy of USO. Since 1951, the United Schools Organization of India has been shaping education beyond textbooks. In 75 years, we have reached 31 states, worked with 16,000 plus schools, and engaged over 5.1 million students and 22,000 teachers. With 500 plus activities and the support of 50 plus partners, USO continues to empower schools with platforms for learning, leadership, and social impact. This journey is about more than numbers. It's about building a generation ready to lead with purpose. Now, may I request Ms. Neena Jain, Secretary General of USO, to explain our activities among special schools. Ms. Neena, please.
Good morning, everybody. And thank you very much, Ms. Jolie. For all the teachers and schools that are joining us online, thank you so much. आप हमारे webinar session में आए और ये webinar series जो चलेगी, I'm very hopeful कि आपको कुछ ना कुछ इसमें नया सीखने को भी मिलेगा. You'll get to learn something new, and at the same time, it is important कि ये awareness बढ़े. So I'm very happy that there are inclusive schools as well who are part of our this webinar series. So for those who are attending or are being aware of our activities for the first time, I'll just like to do an activity recap. We have been working and started working with special schools उनके लिए activities conduct करना from the year 2019. The first activity what we conducted was the Specially Abled Children's National Science Painting Competition, which was in collaboration with NISCARE and in partnership with UNESCO. Subsequently, in the year 2020, we conducted the Specially Able Children's National Poster Making Competition. And apart from NISCARE, we also connected with the Department of Persons with Disabilities from the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment and had their association as well for this competition. In the year 2021, we partnered with CSIR NISPA and UNESCO and conducted the National Science Painting Competition. Subsequently, in 2022, one of the most fun competitions, comics kisko pasand nahi aate, ABC2, Anybody Can Cartoon, Specially Able Children, for Specially Able Children, we had held it in collaboration with Junior Diamond. 2023 was the year when we conducted a national drawing competition for special schools and the specially able children. When we came to 2024, there was a lot of interest from schools. So we conducted not one, but two competitions for special schools. One was Art for Change. ये एक inclusive competition है जो सारे schools के लिए है, तो हमने in order to promote inclusivity conduct किया था. And in addition to that, हमने Dance E Festival किया था, which was the first time जो हम conduct कर रहे थे. और आई थिंक स्कूल्स को तो मजा ही आया ये कंडक्ट करवाने में, लेकिन हमें भी बहुत अच्छा लगा कि स्टूडेंट्स की क्रिएटिविटी थ्रू डांस देखने के लिए. In 2025, we have just concluded the E-Mime competition, which was again an eye-opening experience for us as well as for the schools. And those sort of recap our activities that have been conducted only for special schools. We also, in addition to that, welcome schools that are based in Delhi, NCR, and we conduct a Diwali Mela on our premises each year. We have been doing that since 2021. जो schools दिल्ली में हैं, उनका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. आप हर साल आते हैं and आप 4 चांद लगा देते हैं हमारे कैंपस में. हमने inclusivity भी बहुत बार promote की है in 2020 and then I think 2021 we are missing the year there. 2 competitions that were conducted with mainstream schools as well, which was ABC2 and My Immuno Booster Recipe Competition. Both of them were conducted for all schools. H2O was another such initiative where we invited special school students to take on some classes of storyboarding and animation classes, which was organized. So we had some special schools join us for that as well. So this is in a nutshell, just to let you know of all the activities that we do for special schools and to include them, make the environment a bit more inclusive. So today, let's talk about the webinar series of today. We have started a series which is called Beyond Boundaries. And today, the webinar that we are conducting is about understanding special needs. It is a national webinar. So the schools hamare saath hain, they are also from Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, and all over India. This is a national webinar only for special schools and other schools as well who have inclusive education. The purpose for us to do this is to create awareness, inclusivity, and so to make the schools aware of many other cutting edge technologies perhaps that are here, or by bringing together the experts, educators, we are going to have a platform wherein there is increase in awareness. So just a little bit more about the series. This is our first. There will be a series of 12. So this will go on till March 2026. It is a monthly series. So there are 12 webinars in all. And each month we will focus on a different topic, which relates to understanding and supporting children with special needs. As I already explained, this will explore innovative teaching methods, inclusive learning environments, assistive technologies, behavioral support, and much more. So there's lots in store. So I think we are good to begin. Enough of me talking and us to perhaps go into the webinar in itself. So our first webinar today is the types and symptoms of disabilities. If you have any questions during the webinar, please type it in the chat box, and these will be answered at the end of the session. So as and when a question arises, please feel free to type it in the chat box. So we are very, very honored to have our esteemed speaker, Mr. KVS Rao, with us today. In fact, I'm just going to tilt a little bit the screen so that both of us can be on the screen together. Sir is a seasoned civil servant who has dedicated over 34 years to public service across various central government ministries and departments. And 20 of those years focused specifically on health and disability sectors. He holds an MPhil in International Relations from Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, which is our neighbor actually. Following his retirement in October 2021, Mr. Rao transitioned into the role of a life coach, conducting impactful workshops on physical and mental well-being and happiness for students and professionals alike. In his pursuit to promote holistic wellness, he launched a YouTube channel entitled Discover Yourself, where he shares valuable insights and guidance. Mr. Rao is also the author of 8 books that span topics such as self-awareness, holistic well-being, and disability policy. His personal interests include cooking and travel, as well as a deep commitment to yoga and intermittent fasting, which he integrates into his wellness philosophy. So as I said, we are very, very honored to have Mr. Rao with us today. So we cannot wait for him to share the wealth of knowledge that he has on this sector, and I'm sure this will bring a great deal of other information as well out into the foray. So without further ado, Rao sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Neena Jain. And first of all, I should thank the USO for inviting me for this important webinar and organizing this year-long webinar, which has 12 important topics. I'm very happy that the USO started in 1951, mainly to empower the educators. In 2016, they started empowering the special educators, and slowly in 2020, they started educating the inclusive educators. I think it is a very important shift in the focus given the change in situation in the academic field. Today's topic is very interesting. The types and symptoms of 21 disabilities. I'm very happy that the special educators, parents or persons with disabilities ये webinar attend कर रहे हैं, और हमको पता है कि आप लोगों को काफी जानकार है इस 21 डिसेबिलिटीज के लिए। कि हमारा प्रश्न ये था कि हम क्या नया आपको बताएंगे, लेकिन ये जरूरी है क्योंकि जो एक नया कानून जो बना था 2016 में, राइट्स ऑफ पर्सन्स विद डिसेबिलिटीज एक्ट 2016, इसमें एक सेक्शन है अवेयरनेस के बारे में। तो जितना लोगों को पता चलेगा इस लॉ के बारे में, पर्सन्स विद डिसेबिलिटीज के बारे में, तभी तो हम उनका राइट्स को प्रमोट कर सकते हैं और उनका जो स्पेशल नीड्स है क्या है अपन जान सकते और उसको स्पेशल नीड्स को फुलफिल कर सकते। ये अब अपना लीगल ऑब्लिगेशन हो चुका है क्योंकि 2016 जो लॉ है, अभी तक तो काफी पर्सन्स विद डिसेबिलिटीज नेग्लेक्ट हुए हैं। So now this is the time. It is in fact mandatory for all of us to understand what are the rights of persons with disabilities and what responsibility all of us have, not only government but individuals and also the private sector NGOs. तो हम ये 21 disabilities के बारे में बात करने से पहले एक चीज बताएंगे कि यो 2016 में 21 डिसेबिलिटीज रिकॉग्नाइज हुआ है, लेकिन इससे पहले 1995 में 7 डिसेबिलिटीज रिकॉग्नाइज हो चुके थे और वो 7 डिसेबिलिटीज अभी कंटिन्यू हो रहा है। उसके अलावा और 14 डिसेबिलिटीज ऐड हो चुके हैं। नाउ ज्यादा लोग सोचते हैं कि ये डिसेबिलिटीज जो है ये और डिजीज मतलब रोग, इसमें कोई ज्यादा फर्क नहीं है, लेकिन काफी फर्क है। डिजीज जो होता है मेनली पैथोजेंस, जो जैसे बैक्टीरिया, वायरस, फंगस, पैरासाइट्स, उसके वजह से रोग बीमारी होते हैं, जैसे अपना कभी कोल्ड, कफ, फीवर इस तरह होता है। लेकिन जो डिसेबिलिटीज होते हैं जन्म से हो सकता है या बाद में हो सकता है, लेकिन ये डिसेबिलिटीज जो अपना फंक्शनल रिक्वायरमेंट है, जो अपना डेली लिविंग एक्टिविटीज है, खाना पीना चलना, बात करना, सुनना, कमेंट करना, इसके लिए जो भी अपना ऑर्गन्स अपना बॉडी में लिम्स हो या सेंसरी हो, माइंड हो, ब्रेन हो, मसल हो, बोन हो, नर्व सिस्टम हो, ये सब चीज बहुत जरूरी पड़ता है। जैसे जो जिनका रोग है, जैसे हमको कोल्ड फीवर है, लेकिन फिर भी हम सब काम कर सकते हैं, चल सकते हैं, बात कर सकते हैं। लेकिन डिसेबिलिटी जब होता है तो अपना जो नॉर्मल फंक्शंस, जो डेली लिविंग एक्टिविटीज जो कहते हैं, खाना पीना, चलना, बात करना, बहुत रिस्ट्रिक्शन हो जाता है। जैसे हम एक एग्जांपल देंगे, हमारा मेड है, वो इलिटरेट है, ना पढ़ सकती है ना लिख सकती है, लेकिन सब काम करती है, जो हम बताते हैं सब समझ लेती है। तो इसका मतलब है जब अपना पास कान, आंख, दिमाग और हाथ पांव ये सब है और सोचने का भी कैपेसिटी है, तो हम डेली एक्टिविटीज जो है सब काम कर सकते हैं। लेकिन जब उनको, जैसे मेड को तंब, जो हाथ में जो तंब होता है, ये इन हिंदी व्हाट डू यू से फॉर तंब?
अंगूठा।
अंगूठा। जब अंगूठा नहीं होता है तो ग्लास पकड़ना भी मुश्किल हो जाता है। इसी तरह अपना लिम्स में, हाथ पांव और इसमें जो भी डिफेक्ट है, तो अपना फंक्शंस करना मुश्किल हो जाता है। जैसे हमको 4-5 दिन से फुट में जो हील बोलते हैं, फुट के नीचे हील, उसमें हमको काफी दर्द हो रहा है, तो हम उठ के खड़े होना मुश्किल हो जाता है और चलना मुश्किल होता है और भागना भी मुश्किल हो जाता है। और जब हम थोड़ा शू या कुछ मोटा कुशन का जो है वो पहनते हैं, तो हमको थोड़ा आसानी से खड़े होके चलना आसानी हो जाता है। तो इस तरह जो भी अपना बॉडी में लिमिटेशंस करता है अपना काम के लिए, तो उसको बोलते हैं डिसेबिलिटी। तो इसमें रोग होना जरूरत नहीं है, और ये काफी चीज जन्म से भी होता है, और कभी एक्सीडेंट भी हो सकता है, कभी अपना केयरलेसनेस भी हो सकता है। तो अलग अलग रीजन होते हैं, लेकिन ज्यादा तक जो 21 डिसेबिलिटीज में जन्म से ही जेनेटिक हो या इस तरह बाय बर्थ से ही होने का चांसेस है। तो हम शुरू करेंगे अब। एक और चीज, ये डिसेबिलिटीज पता होना क्यों जरूरी है, क्योंकि अभी तक इनको नेग्लेक्ट किया है। अब जब लॉ आया है, वो कहते हैं कि इनका जो भी लाइफ है, पर्सन्स विदाउट डिसेबिलिटीज, जिनको डिसेबिलिटीज नहीं है, जो जिस तरह जीते हैं, इनका भी हक है उतने ही जीने का। जैसे खेलना अपन खेलते हैं, वो भी खेल सकते हैं, काम करना है, ऑफिस में काम करना है, वो भी काम करना चाहिए, और कोई भी मीटिंग्स में अटेंड करना है वो भी करना चाहिए। तो कानून उनको पूरी तरह हक देता है, हर चीज पर्सन विद डिसेबिलिटीज जो कर रहे हैं वो भी करना है, और अपना रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है उनको इंक्लूड करना है सभी स्फीयर्स ऑफ लाइफ में। तो जब अपन डिसेबिलिटीज जानेंगे और उनका क्या स्पेशल नीड्स है, अपन को पता चलेगा, और उससे अपन उनको मदद कर सकते हैं। मदद मतलब ये है कि अपन ये नहीं कि अपन कुछ उनको सेवा कर रहे हैं, नहीं, वो उनका हक है। तो जब अपन उनको असिस्ट नहीं करेंगे, तो इसका मतलब है हम अपना रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी फुलफिल नहीं कर रहे हैं। तो ये जरूरी है कि जब भी इनके बारे में पता चलेगा, अपन उस पर ज्यादा रिसर्च करके ध्यान से उनको मदद कर सकते हैं। सो इसलिए हर डिसेबिलिटी पे जानना बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है। पहले है ब्लाइंडनेस, ये भी पहले भी डिसेबिलिटी रिकॉग्नाइज हुआ था, ये कंटिन्यू हो रहा है। इसमें ये है, जैसे आप फोटो देख रहे हैं, दिख सकते हैं कि ये पर्सन ब्लाइंड है या नहीं। जब लकड़ी खीन पकड़ के चलता है, तो इसका मतलब है उनको देखने का शक्ति नहीं है। जिनका कंप्लीट लॉस ऑफ विजन है, ए पर्सन हु हैज अ कंप्लीट लॉस ऑफ विजन एंड हु हैज एन इनएबिलिटी टू सी इवन विद करेक्टिव मेजर्स। जो करेक्टिव मेजर्स मतलब है कुछ सर्जरी हो या कोई अच्छा ग्लासेस हो, ये सब करने के बाद भी कुछ दिखाई नहीं देता, तो उसको बताते हैं पूरी तरह ब्लाइंडनेस। अब पहले तो ये था कि सोच ये था कि ये लोग कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं, हाँ, इन लोग को काफी सुन के भी काफी सीख सकते हैं, लेकिन अब टेक्नोलॉजी इम्प्रूव होने से, जैसे ब्रेल हो या अपना कौन सी अपना स्क्रीन रीडर हो वेबसाइट में, इससे काफी उनका इंटरेक्शन कम्युनिकेशन में काफी आसान हो गया. So now let us come to low vision. Now, low vision is a person without full blindness, but they have only difficulty in reading. Despite glasses, even with glasses, they have difficulty in reading, but they need thick glasses so that the letters they can see it in a bigger form and they're able to read, but still their vision is very blurred and narrow, and that is the low vision. So even here, there are various ways of improving the low vision. Maybe my other speakers will talk more about it in subsequent lectures. The third is the leprosy cured persons. Here, we are not including persons suffering from leprosy in the disability, but those people who have been fully cured are included in the disability bracket. Now, what are their problems? There is loss of sensation in hands and feet, muscle weakness is there, and or paralysis, and there are deformities in fingers, nose, and eyes. Main reason why this category has been included is there is a lot of discrimination against these people. They have the ability to work in spite of these limitations. Only thing is they require some kind of rehabilitation, and by which they'll be able to take care of the daily living activities. Next. Now, hearing impairment. There are two categories. One is deafness, a person who has the inability to hear sounds at all. And second, difficulty in speech development. Hard of hearing is a person who is not fully deaf. Partial hearing loss is there, and there's a trouble understanding speech, especially in noisy environments. These hearing loss can happen due to many reasons, due to aging, noise damage, drug side effects, auditory tumors, blast explosion, and these are some of the very important causes which lead to hearing loss. Next. Then the locomotor disability. In fact, among all the disabilities, the number of persons who are having locomotor disability is the maximum. Now, what are the characteristics? Now, when we see somebody who do not have the arms, a leg, or they're using crutches, then or who is limping or because of polio, then we can say that they have some problem in movement of hands and legs. So first, what they experience is pain in the bones, joints, muscles, or nerves. Then difficulty in moving limbs or objects, loss of movement, loss of feeling, control of a movement, even it can be paralysis. Then limb malformations. For instance, people have board-shaped legs and they were not able to walk smoothly. So this is the locomotor disability. Then comes the cerebral palsy. This is also included in the locomotor disability, but here the neurological problem, because of which there is delay in reaching developmental milestones, poor coordination between the brain and the nerve system, stiff and tight muscles, exaggerated reflexes, paralysis, brain damage of motor region, brain. So because of which many of them may use wheelchair, or even if they are able to stand and walk, there is some kind of imbalance. Some kind of our limbs may be working even without our knowledge. They move with which go beyond our control. So there is no proper coordination between the brain and the limbs. Next. Then the muscular dystrophy. Now, this is a progressive muscle weakness. इसका progressive मतलब है weakness बढ़ते जाता है. कुछ disabilities है जो जितना, जैसे कि cerebral palsy है, इट इज नॉन प्रोग्रेसिव, मतलब जितना है उतनी रहेगा, ज़्यादा और डिटीरिएट और ज़्यादा डैमेज नहीं होगा। लेकिन ये मस्कुलर डिस्ट्रॉफी प्रोग्रेसिव मसल वीकनेस है, तो इंक्रीज होते रहता है। डिफिकल्टी इन स्टैंडिंग, फ्रीक्वेंट फॉल्स होता है, वॉकिंग ऑन टिप टोज, लेग पेन, वीकनेस इन शोल्डर्स एंड पेल्विक मसल्स, डिफिकल्टी राइजिंग फ्रॉम ए सिटिंग और लाइंग पोजिशन। ये बहुत सीरियस केस होता है और इसके लिए दवा भी होता है, लेकिन फिर भी कुछ ज़्यादा नहीं कर पाएंगे। नेक्स्ट, देन ड्वार्फिज्म आप देखते हैं कुछ लोग बहुत अपना हाइट में बहुत कम होते हैं। तो एज पर द लॉ डेफिनेशन ये है कि जो जिनका हाइट 4 फीट और 10 इंचेस है और उससे कम है, तो उनको ड्वार्फ कहते हैं। और उनका बॉडी बहुत डिस्प्रोपोर्शनेट रहते हैं, जैसे उनका सर कुछ ज़्यादा बड़ा रहता है और कुछ नोज भी थोड़ा फ्लैट रहता है, और लिम्स जैसे हाथ है बहुत छोटा होते हैं, और रिस्ट हैंड थोड़ा वाइड होता है, बोर्ड लेग्स फीट वाइड होता है। तो इस तरह होने से उनको चलने में और कुछ काम करने में बहुत तकलीफ होता है, और वो भी भेदभाव भी ज़्यादा है अपना सोसाइटी से। तो इसलिए ये इंक्लूड किया गया ताकि उनको पूरी तरह अटेंशन मिले और जो भी उनका राइट्स है अपन प्रमोट कर सके। नेक्स्ट, और ये है इंटेलेक्चुअल डिसेबिलिटी। ये डिसेबिलिटी है जो ज़्यादा अभी तक नेग्लेक्ट हो चुके हैं, क्योंकि बाय बर्थ उनको जो ब्रेन डेवलपमेंट जो है ठीक से अरेस्टेड ग्रोथ, मतलब इनकम्प्लीट ग्रोथ हुआ है। उसके वजह से ब्रेन पूरी तरह न डेवलप होने से अपना जो भी अपना काम है या रिलेशंस है या इंटरेक्शंस है, इसमें काफ़ी इफेक्ट होता है। जैसे बायोलॉजिकल एज इनका 20-25 भी हो, लेकिन बच्चा जैसे ही बिहेव करता है ये 5 या 10 साल का जो ब्रेन है उस तरह डेवलप होता है। तो उसके वजह से इनको काफ़ी अटेंशन मिलना चाहिए। तो इंटेलेक्चुअल डिसेबिलिटी जिनका IQ 70% से कम है और सोशल रिलेशंस में कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, तो इसके वजह से इनका काफ़ी, और डिफिकल्टी इन लर्निंग और अडेप्टिव बिहेवियर। लर्निंग में मुश्किल हो जाता है। लर्निंग मतलब जो रीजनिंग है और कम्युनिकेशन और अडेप्टिव मतलब जो सोशल रिलेशंस, किस तरह रिलेशन में अंडरस्टैंड करना, उनको बिहेव करना। नाउ नेक्स्ट इज मेंटल इलनेस। मेंटल इलनेस ये बाय बर्थ से नहीं होता है। ये पर्सन जो विदाउट डिसेबिलिटीज है, हम और आप, जब अपना माइंड अपना कंट्रोल में नहीं होता है, मूड स्विंग होता है, डिसऑर्डर जैसे डिप्रेशन होता है, एंग्जाइटी होता है, जो बाइपोलर डिसऑर्डर बोलते हैं, क्योंकि हर समय सडनली खुश होता है, कभी दुखी होता है। सिजोफ्रेनिया, साइकोसिस मतलब हेलुसिनेशन, मतलब ये है कि जो रियलिटी से अलग अपना सोचना, ये सब चीज़ मेंटल। इनफैक्ट हम कहेंगे कि एक स्टेज पे अपन सब मेंटल इलनेस स्टेज पे थे। जैसे कोरोना सिचुएशन में सभी लोग काफ़ी डर में थे कि क्या होगा अपना लाइफ। तो उस समय हम सब कुछ ना कुछ डिग्री ऑफ मेंटल इलनेस थे। और अभी भी जब अपना क्रोध ज़्यादा आता है, अपना माइंड कंट्रोल में नहीं होता है, ज़्यादा टेंशन में होते हैं, तो कुछ ना कुछ, इतना ज़्यादा सीरियस मेंटल इलनेस हो ना हो, बट फिर भी कुछ ना कुछ डिग्री है, तो वो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है। और कहते हैं कि जितना अपन उसको प्रिवेंट करेंगे इनिशियल स्टेजेस पे ही साइकोलॉजिस्ट और साइकेट्रिस्ट मिलेंगे, तो ये ज़्यादा सीरियस नहीं होगा, वो तो फिर मेंटल इलनेस का ब्रैकेट में आ जाएगा, और इसके लिए फिर ज़्यादा काउंसलिंग और ड्रग्स ज़रूर पड़ेगा। नेक्स्ट, ऑटिज्म स्पेक्ट्रम डिसऑर्डर। ये है न्यूरो डेवलपमेंटल डिसऑर्डर कहते हैं। तो ये भी विद इन 3 years ऑफ बर्थ में पता चल जाता है कि इनका ऑटिज्म है। ऑटिज्म मतलब मेन ये है कि उनको डिफिकल्टी इन सोशल रिलेशंस, मतलब अकेलापन उनको अच्छा लगता है, लोगों से मिलना थोड़ा डर लगता है, और आंखों में आंख नहीं मिला सकते हैं, और रेपिटेटिव बिहेवियर, हर समय कुछ चिल्लाना या कुछ हाथ पांव हिलाना, सेंसरी सेंसिटिविटीज इस तरह होता है। और इसमें स्पेक्ट क्या मतलब है? ऑटिज्म डिसऑर्डर, ठीक है, ऑटिज्म स्पेक्ट्रम डिसऑर्डर, इसका मतलब ये है कि हर पर्सन विथ ऑटिज्म इज टोटली डिफरेंट। कुछ लोगों का इंटेलेक्चुअल डिसेबिलिटी कम हो सकता है, कुछ लोगों को भी ज्यादा हो सकता है, इवन पर्सन विदाउट डिसेबिलिटी से भी ज्यादा टैलेंट भी रह सकते हैं। तो एक स्पेक्ट्रम से दूसरा आखिरी तक अलग अलग वैरायटी का उनका डेवलपमेंट है। तो ये जानना अपन को, स्पेशल एजुकेटर्स को जानना जरूरी है, तभी तो उनका क्या स्पेशल नीड्स है और किस तरह उनको हैंडल करना है, किस तरह उनका काउंसलिंग या स्पेशल एजुकेशन दे सकते हैं, तो उसी से उनका इम्प्रूवमेंट हो सके। ये नहीं कि ये क्यूर होने का चांस है, इट विल रिमेन, बट कुछ ना कुछ थोड़ा इम्प्रूवमेंट होगा, ताकि अपना डेली लिविंग एक्टिविटीज में अपना इंडिपेंडेंट हो सके। नेक्स्ट, देन मल्टीपल डिसेबिलिटीज, इसका मतलब क्या है? ये है, पहले 1995 लॉ में ये मल्टीपल डिसेबिलिटी नहीं था, सिर्फ 7 डिसेबिलिटीज था। मतलब मल्टीपल डिसेबिलिटीज मतलब जो डिसेबिलिटीज 2 से ज्यादा है। जैसे कुछ लोग हैं जिनको सुनने नहीं होता और देखने भी नहीं होता, इट इज कॉल्ड डेफ ब्लाइंडनेस। सम पीपल हैव inability to see and also hear. It is a very tough situation because it is very difficult for them to communicate, to learn, and also to develop. So in this new law, they have included this category so that people with multiple disabilities are able to get attention from the society, and they're able to participate in the community. So there is a formula for deciding the amount of disability. I should tell you that those people who have 40% and above disability, they get a lot of benefits from the government. And even here, a combination of disabilities, if it comes to 40 and above, they'll be entitled for many benefits. Next. Then comes chronic neurological conditions. As I said in the beginning, we not only need limbs, the bones have to be in proper condition, muscles we have to have, then sensory for looking, hearing, and speaking. In addition to that, the nervous system has to be very strong. Unless the nervous system is well coordinated with the brain, we are going to have problem in handling our daily living activities, communication, and interaction. Now, the Act says chronic neurological conditions such as multiple sclerosis and Parkinson's disease. It doesn't mean that only these two are recognized. Such as means it can be even other than that which have chronic neural conditions. For instance, epilepsy. जैसे कुछ लोग मूर्छित हो जाते हैं, सीजर्स कहते हैं, और इवन जिनका माइग्रेन होता है, people who have migraine, constant migraine, they are also included in the chronic neurological conditions. But the two main disabilities which have been included in this is multiple sclerosis and Parkinson's disease. Now, multiple sclerosis is basically the nervous system is very strongly affected. There is no proper coordination between the brain and the nervous system. Therefore, the symptoms are muscle weakness, vision problems, numbness, and tingling conditions, sensations. So this really affects their daily living activities. The next is Parkinson's disease. Here, the person faces the shaking of limbs, tremors, stiffness is experienced in hands, arms, legs, jaw, face. Then slowed movement, then poor balance and coordination, difficulty in walking and talking, and there is a difference in mental and behavioral changes. A person who has Parkinson's disease, medication is there, but then it is something, it only keeps deteriorating. Next. Now coming to specific learning disabilities. Now, this was not there in the previous law. And even before it was added in this present law, in fact, some states like Maharashtra and Kerala, Karnataka, they have recognized this specific learning disability when it comes to education. They have been able to provide certain benefits for them. Now here, the intellectual disability development is already normal in the case of special learning disabilities, but because of some problem in processing in the brain, they have difficulty in reading, writing, and even mathematics. So dyslexia is, for instance, they have a problem in reading. Now, for instance, there's a even spelling also. Like, for instance, there's a word now, N-O-O, N-O-W, but they read it as one, W-O-N. Similarly, left, L-E-F-T, and they read it as felt. So these are the problems which they face, and it creates a lot of stress, and there is a lot of slowness in the learning and also understanding situations. So then writing, even in terms of writing, like for instance, B and D, they confuse and they use it interchangeably. Words, sometimes they add words, or there may be a space within the word. Even when they write, the size of the words may not be uniform. So it's very difficult to understand their writing, and these are the problems. And there are now very good solutions. The special educators know. And arithmetic, they have problem. What do you call maths anxiety? They feel very disturbed when they have to calculate, add, subtract, decimals, fraction, or even to remember certain mathematical equations. So that problem is very serious, but the new innovations are there, how we can handle them. Now, slow learning despite normal intelligence is what I said. The intelligence is normal, but the learning is slow. Once we understand that it is not the problem created because of their dullness or so, but it is definitely something connected with processing in the brain, which has come from childhood, and that is where we have to recognize it, and it is our duty to find solutions. Next. Now, coming to speech and language disability. Here, again, the communication is very important. Now here, maybe because of hearing loss, people cannot speak, because when there is something direct connection between hearing and learning. People say that people who cannot hear, they are mute, they cannot speak because they're not learning anything. So here, speech and language disability, one of the main reasons is maybe because of loss in hearing. But even there are other reasons, neurological and also organic reasons. If there's a problem suppose a person has cleft lip, or even palate, the tongue, there's some problem, or there's some problem in your throat. The speech is slurred and stuttering. Though they are unable to articulate words and properly. So they have a problem not only in speech, but even learning the language, in learning the vocabulary. They have very limited vocabulary, and they have difficulty in understanding the spoken language. They may be finding it difficult to learn more than one language. So these are they have trouble in expressing thoughts and ideas very clearly. But now rehabilitation, a lot of development has happened where they're able to handle them very scientifically and find solutions for persons with speech and language disability. Next. Now, acid attack victims. This is something, a trend which has, which we have seen, that young girls, especially in schools, colleges, universities, they have been under attack from their male colleagues or anyone in the neighborhood. Because of the misunderstanding, they use acid and other wrong chemicals to take revenge. So when a girl or woman faces this problem, it leads to disfigurement. The whole face could be damaged, maybe a part of eye, nose, or even ear and skin, by which the person loses the beauty of the body and loss of vision and mobility in certain areas, and even the people react badly towards such people, such victims. But the law recognized the discrimination that they face, decided to include this to rehabilitate them, to ensure that they are part of the society. In fact, they have also reservation in government jobs. So this is a very important disability which requires focus, and I'm sure that they started getting employment and attention from the public. Next slide. Now, blood disorders were not included in the previous law. Now, the government felt that even when we have problem with blood, it can affect our daily living activities. For instance, thalassemia. In fact, three blood disorders have been recognized. The first is thalassemia. Now, it creates serious anemia, fatigue, paleness, low growth in basically in children, and because of the shortage of hemoglobin. Now, this kind of problem requires regular blood transfusion. So it is a very serious condition where these people require immediate attention, especially during COVID situation. Many people could not get blood in time, so it created some problem. But by providing blood banks, we are able to handle the problem of these people. And anemia also can be cured not only through blood transfusion but also through proper supplements, vitamin supplements. Next. Now, hemophilia. Now, ये है कि जैसे कभी बॉडी में इंजुरी हुआ है और नॉर्मल पर्सन के लिए क्या होता है, वो जो ब्लड धीरे धीरे क्लॉट हो जाता है, लेकिन कुछ केसेस है ब्लड क्लॉटिंग बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है कि ब्लड फिर ज्यादा फ्लो होती रहता है. सो दैट इज अ वेरी सीरियस प्रॉब्लम कि दे कैन लीड टू लॉट ऑफ ब्लड लॉस and endanger the person. So this hemophilia is also recognized as a disability, and through blood clotting medicine and other antibiotics, they're able to handle this problem. So persons with hemophilia also require proper attention. Then coming to the last disability is sickle cell disease. Now, again, the anemia, the pain in neighbors, basically, if you see the picture, the blood vessel, which has normal red blood cells, there also, you see sickle cell. I mean, there's a kind of shape like a sickle, which are also part of the blood, which are not supposed to be there, but such stiff and sticky sickle cells get stuck in the bloodstream. So it affects the normal flow of the blood, and also it can affect the red blood cells, so creating anemia and swelling in legs and feet. So that also, it is a very serious case. There are some states like Jharkhand which have this serious problem, and again antibiotics and certain other vitamin supplements are required, and because of this the normal function gets affected. Yeah. So I think we have completed all the disabilities. Mainly, if you see the last slide, leaving no one behind is a slogan which is given by the United Nations. The Sustainable Development Goals, which have been framed by the United Nations for all the countries to follow. It says that every person in any nation have to be involved in the development process. It can be women, it can be any other marginalized section of society, including persons with disability. So only when we are able to understand their symptoms, their needs, we are able to help them to enjoy all the rights and freedoms as every person has in the country, especially in our country. Our constitution gives guarantee of the rights and freedoms. In addition, the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act also uh, gives power for persons with disabilities to fight for the rights and also the entitlements that are there. And therefore, it is the duty, not only the government, but also every individual. In fact, the main reason why I try to talk on this topic is that unless each of us get empowered to know about the disability, we will not be able to help, even at the individual level. If there's a neighbor or if there's somebody in our home, we'll be able to help a person or a parent who has a child with disability. We can help them to tell them what are the facilities available in the community and how to go about in terms of health, education, and also employment. So if you have any questions, please share so that I will be able to handle them. And I'm sure that you may have benefited from this talk. And I'm sure the more we add our knowledge from time to time, update our knowledge, create awareness among ourselves and also others, only then the law can serve its purpose. Otherwise, the law will remain on the shelf, which may not be able to help us in any way unless we are active and implement and help in implementation of the law. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was very insightful. And while we are waiting for questions in the chat box, I also wanted to inquire. Sir, I believe in one of those intellectual disabilities. Earlier, it was mental retardation.
Yeah, it was called mental retardation. And now they decided not to use the word retardation. So therefore, a new phrase has been coined. It is called intellectual disability. So it is more or less the same same content in the meaning. But only thing is the language has been modified to make it more polished.
So, just from some personal references, intellectual disability is something that is caused by external factors. I mean, there are many other disabilities that are mentioned, which probably we are either born with or comes from our genetic makeup. But is intellectual disability also part of that, or is intellectual disability caused by some external factor?
Yeah, in fact, intellectual disability, there are many factors which science is trying to find out, but some say it is very genetic. Supposing marriage happens within close relations, that can lead to intellectual disability. Even when the child is in the womb of the mother, if the nutrition is bad, certain micronutrients are not there, it can lead to less development of the brain. And when the mother is pregnant, if she suffers a fall, then it can injure the fetus. Again, that can lead to problem in the brain. And it is also said that even when the child is coming out of the fetus, when there is some injury in cutting the umbilical coil, if we are not able to do it properly, that can also, because it is said that the supply of oxygen may get affected, and that leads to some damage to the brain, and therefore the development of the brain get arrested, and that continues for the whole life. So at every stage, it is necessary. In fact, there's one iodine deficiency program run by the health ministry. They say that it's salt that we take. I mean, in fact, there's no way that iodine is taken. They say that if there's iodine deficiency in the body, it can lead to less growth of the brain. So therefore, they decided instead of taking, it's not safe to take iodine directly. So therefore, they decided that the salt that we all take, you add iodine to the salt. So that's why we have iodinated salt. So by which we are trying to prevent problem having intellectual disability, because the mother and the child, they are going to get iodine through that form. And this is one of the ways of prevention. Definitely, nutrition is very important. And especially, there's a link between poverty and intellectual disability. Because when the nutrition is not proper, even cleanliness and sanitation problem is there. So definitely, we are going to have these problems of intellectual disability in large numbers.
So I will ask another question, sir. In your experience of all the disabilities, which were the ones that were the most prevalent? Of course, records of all the disabilities across India is very hard to maintain, but there might have been some top 3 disabilities जो सबसे ज्यादा हमें पाई जाती है इंडिया में, तो वो कौन सी 3 disabilities हैं?
Yeah, in fact, there are many disabilities in all categories, but only thing is some people come out, some people don't come out because of any ambitions. Parents also don't try to send them out. But as far as my experience, I've seen even from my school days, college days, school days, I've seen people with intellectual disability. Some people, people homeless, even children or women or grown up, they walk totally naked in the streets, and they're not giving the problem attention. Some people throw stones. So this is all I've seen. But then in this college, I've seen 4 or 5 friends of mine, colleagues who were blind, and they did as well as me. They had braille in there to take notes and all that. And they had scribes who could read the text and they could read, listen, understand. So I found that people with blindness are more or less everywhere. They're studying well. In fact, there are many professors in DU also are teaching. I can see some couples, husband, wife also, who are professors in some departments. So in addition to that, locomotor disability is more common. People who use some crutches or wheelchair. So and hearing impairment is very less. Maybe they don't go beyond 12th or something, unless there are certain attention given by colleges and universities. But then people with blindness and locomotor disability, they seem to get good attention avenues because they're all visible. So the discrimination is there, but still with their willpower, they're able to come out. So that is a very important thing. But then, as I saw, even persons with autism, special learning disabilities, they are able to come forward now. I know a lawyer friend of mine who's a son of my friend. He's doing law, special learning disability. Then autism, I know somebody who has written a book and also created a film also. So there are such people. Recently, there was a film also, Srikanth.
Yes.
A blind person.
That's right.
And he was denied admission in IIT. He went abroad to USA. He had education in IT. Then he started a company creating about 180 crores turnover. That was in in 2018 or something, but now it's no more. And is giving employment to the persons with disabilities. So that is the power capacity they have. Only thing, the problem is that we are not creating opportunities to them. If we can understand them, create opportunities, I think sky is the limit. They can achieve as much as, or even more than what we can achieve, because I find that they have very strong willpower. Like, for instance, as I said, I had pain in the heel. I feel very frustrating whole day, it's upset, but then whole life they have this limitation and they're still able to sustain, achieve. I think they're a role model for all of us. With all the limitations, they're still struggling with life and still able to achieve many things. And that is where, and especially persons with intellectual disability, yes, their brain is not developed, but then compared to all of us who have very restless mind, too many desires, bad qualities, they remain pure as a child throughout their life. And I think that helps even the family to remain pure along with them. It's something which we can learn how to remain good They do not have the bad qualities like anger, jealousy, and all that. So this is something we can see the best of the qualities in many of them, and definitely it helps us to not only increase our patience but also remain good.
So I think there are a lot of also facilities that the government makes available to, which I think we're going to have in another session.
Yeah.
What are the government in other sessions?
Right.
There are also many myths and so on and so forth.
Yeah, in fact, they require support from birth to death, maybe even before birth. Just as I said, that maternal health is important. So unless we take care of them at every stage, like for instance, people who are unemployed, I mean, who can work but they're unemployed, they need some kind of financial support. But people who are there who cannot even work, like they give pensions. So different type of supports. Even people who want to study, scholarships are required. And as soon as the child is born, just as we give vaccines, immunization happens for general public children. But why early detection is not happening for disabilities? In fact, it is said if we can identify at early stage, we can reduce or even eliminate disability. For instance, hearing impairment. If I am born with hearing impairment, in the first 6 to 8 years, there is a government program called cochlear implant surgery. If that is done in the year, I can hear fully. That means the hearing impairment can be totally eradicated. So there are many such, like as I said, some people were born with bowed legs. If surgery is done at a very early stage, they can walk straight and fast. So I feel that the early intervention centers, which is not there in the country at the district level, if they are provided, then the parents can go there. They will know what are the disabilities and correction can be made at the earliest. So detection and rehabilitation is what is required. And I'm sure that in the next lectures, we can deal with them in more detail with some success stories. But I'm sure state government, central government, they have a lot of programs, but much more has to be done for this sector.
Yeah. Right. I think that sort of concludes our first.
Any questions you received?
No, I think from the chat box, there hasn't been any questions. This seems to be something that is clear to all, and I think it must have been an eye-opening experience for all the schools. तो जो schools हमें join कर रहे हैं, next steps, our next webinar, हमारी अगली webinar होगी last Friday, May में, which is May 30th, same time 11 बजे. And the topic for that will be understanding neurodiversity, autism, ADHD, which is attention deficit.
The speaker is Renu Malviya?
Yes, she is.
Professor Renu Malviya will be the speaker.
And learning differences. And Dr. Renu Malviya, who is a renowned professor from Delhi University, will be taking on that session for all of us. So I know ये सारे schools जो join कर रहे हैं, हमें आप इन सब चीज़ों के बारे में जानते हैं, and पर ये भी है कि there are many mainstream schools, many inclusive schools who are also joining this session to understand special needs better. So thank you for all the schools who are joining us. जो schools इन सब चीज़ों को जानते हैं, उनको भी thank you. I am hoping कि आप लोगों ने कुछ नया ही सीखा होगा इसमें भी. और स्लाइड बहुत जल्दी चला गया. जॉली मैन, कैन आई रिक्वेस्ट यू टू कम बैक टू दैट स्लाइड? वो एक ट्वीटिंग बर्ड है जो बहुत क्यूट लगती है. सो हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल को प्लीज सब्सक्राइब कीजिए. एंड बिफोर वी लीव, जस्ट अ क्विक मैसेज फॉर ऑल द स्कूल्स. यू विल रिसीव अ लिंक टू अ क्विज बेस्ड ऑन मिस्टर राउज टॉक टुडे. सारे स्कूलों को वो क्विज करना जरूरी है. ओनली वन क्विज, वन रिस्पॉन्स इज नीडेड पर स्कूल. So आप ग्रुप में कर सकते हैं उसे, उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. You can have it done as a group with the teachers and the students. And the link of this video will also be shared with you. Please feel free to share it with the students and the parents. हमें लगता है कि हमें कुछ चीजें आती हैं, but I'm sure we'll learn something from it. This is a session ताकि awareness increase हो. So the more number of people that watch it and they can improve their awareness, the better it is. So I think that.
In fact, let me say that those of your friends and relatives or parents who are not able to attend this webinar, this session. This is a recorded one, so you can share the YouTube link with everybody so that they can get the benefit of these lectures.
Yes, so that's it from us for today. So thank you very, very much, Mr. Rao. Thank you once again, sir, for taking the time. It's not easy to find time and, devote it to us, but your commitment to special schools and, increasing awareness on this area is really commendable.
Yeah, it's my privilege, and definitely all of us have the responsibility to help this disability community. So I'm very happy that the USO has taken lead in trying to increase the awareness in the field of disability and educating the special educators and even general schools. I'm sure with all your activities, you're making the children very much interested. And through that, I think you can convey a lot of knowledge and information, not only to them, but also to their parents. And parents, in fact, should be our target. Once we empower the parents, automatically all the benefits will reach the persons with children with disabilities. I think that should be the focus, and I'm sure you're in the right track. And wish you all the best. I'm there to support you always.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you to all the schools who are joining us. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.